What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade, basketball analysis, holding down analysisplayground.com. Also listening to analysis while giving y'all this analysis today. We're going to talk about the Phoenix Suns, Denver, game 3 as they go up 3-0. And we're going to talk about the blowout of the Clippers 2-1 in the Jazz, and they take a home stand. And now they won 2 in a row at home, beating the Mavericks, and now they won one against the Jazz, and it was impressive. So we're gonna start off with the Jazz. This is a recent one. The Jazz look terrible. They was off passing the ball. They took a lot of tough threes. They missed so many wide open threes. And Donovan Mitchell got it cooking. He made some tough ones, just like he did in the first 2 games. And you will live with that, just like what I said with Luka. If you're going to work hard and you're going to take the tough ones, I have to concede that because all I can do is play the best defense that I can and live with the results. And Donovan Mitchell got to the point where he is a player that can knock those down. He's a 2-time All-Star, and he's proven it so far in this series. But they slowed him down. He couldn't really get to where he wanted to go. They sent the double team in the trap to force the ball out of his hands, and other guys just couldn't make enough plays. Gobert wasn't there in the first half, and it really allowed the Clippers to build a good cushion, and they was able to ride the W. Kawhi Leonard stepped up huge in the second half. Didn't have a great first half, but as the Jazz tried to make their run, Kawhi Leonard was there. Get in layups, get in dunks, get in threes at the end of the day. And that's what you need to see from Kawhi. He needs to be aggressive. He needs to be looking for a shot. He needs to be mixing it up offensively. Same with Paul George. He hit some jump shots. He hit some threes. He got some dunks, got some layups. And that's what I want to see from these two. I really just want to see them mix it up. Like, you don't have to settle for so many jumpers. You don't have to continue to take the three. The Jazz want you to take a three. They want you to take a contested three. Just like I said with Donovan Mitchell, you'll live with that. And when Kawhi Leonard is playing within the flow and also creating his own shot and getting switches where he can go one-on-one with the guy that he wants, that's the best of Kawhi. He is a guy that can play with and without the ball, and you would like to see it more. I mean, that's why you get Rondo and those guys, so they don't have to do all the facilitating and all the pick and rolls. That was the whole point of trading Lou Williams for Rondo, and Rondo hasn't been playing, but I like what I've seen out of Batum. I told you guys, they need to start Batum. He gives them length. He gives them size, but he gives them that guy that can stretch these. And he showed that in this game. He can put the ball on the floor and make a pass. He can put the ball on the floor and make a layup. He's long enough and athletic enough to make a dunk. And he's a solid free throw shooter. And they needed him. And that's why you make that acquisition. And that's why you play him so many minutes in the regular season. And they need him to start because Zubac gave them nothing. This guy can't catch the ball. He can't make a layup. He can't make a dunk. He seems like he's always scared of getting blocked. He seems like he's too scared to go up strong. And if you're not going to play strong and play like a man, then why are you playing the center position? That's a physical, tough position. You can't be timid. You can't be weary. You have to make up your mind what you're going to do with the ball. Are you going to go up and try to finish and make the shot? Or are you going to pass that ball and reset the offense when you get an offensive rebound? He was aggressive with the rebounds, but offensively, he has to do more, and he has to be better. When guys are dumping him the ball and guys are throwing him the ball, go up strong and try to make the layup and try to dunk it. And stop second guessing yourself. Stop thinking so much. I know Gobert and Derek Favors are mobile bigs, but you have to finish that play. They just asking you to roll to the basket and be in a dunker spot and just finish the play. And Zubac is struggling doing that. And that's why I told you guys, Serge Ibaka is essential to this team because he can hit a mid-range. He can hit a three. He can dunk. He can hit a free throw. And that's why I liked it them when they picked him up. Because that will force Gobert to stretch just like Batum. But the only difference is you will still have a rim protector because Serge Ibaka can still do that. And Batum is not that. But the Clippers played like they played in the last 2 games against the Mavs. They was going out there, getting to the basket. They was passing, keeping the ball moving. When they got ran off the three-point line, they was aggressive, still trying to finish the play with floaters, able to drop, hit their mid-range shots, and if they didn't have that, they just got all to the basket and laid up and dunked it. Why wouldn't they do that in the first 2 games? They seemed like they was satisfied just taking tough contested threes, and they was living with it. And I know you can make the argument that they was in those games. They had the lead in those fourth quarters, but those are the shots you live with. Those are tough ones, and you want to be able to get the best shot available. That's the whole point of an offense, to find the matchup, to find the guys in the areas and the spots that they need to be successful and put them in those spots. That's Ty Lue's job as a coach, and I feel like they played like the Clippers that we've seen all season. Able to hit mid-range, able to hit threes, able to finish and knock down their free throws. That's what they did to beat the Mavs 2 games in a row, and that's what it finally took for them to beat the Jazz. But I feel like the Jazz just didn't show up. I feel like they really was out of it. They really didn't play like that move happy, score whenever we want to Jazz. They really took Donovan Mitchell out of it. And then once he was gone, these other guys just didn't step up like they did in other games where they would punish you for double teaming. They will punish you for being wrong on your rotation or not being smart enough to, get out to them at the 3-point line. They'd make you pay for leaving them open. They was open this whole game and they just didn't fall. They just didn't. But if you the Clippers, you would take it. You had to win this game so you don't go down 3-0. Now you have a chance after getting a day of rest to tie it up. And that's something that we really didn't see them doing. As bad as they played on both ends of the court to me on a game 1 and game 2, this was a W that they took. They played well to me the entire game. But like I said, even when Jazz cut it to 9, cut it to 8, the Clippers was able to keep them at bay for the entire game and never really felt that threat or that push where the Jazz was going to take the lead because they continued to play their game. They continued to execute the game plan, and they did it together. I feel like everybody stepped up. It wasn't just 1 or 2 guys having great performances. Everybody contributed. But that's how they beat the Mavs the last 2 games, and that's how they should have started this series. And you can make an argument that they should be up 3-0 in this series, but they not. They down 2-1, and now they got to focus on winning Game 4 to tie it up 2-2 with a chance to take the lead of the series and possibly put the Jazz on the brink of elimination. But the Jazz, they played like themselves. They just didn't make the shots. They did fumble a lot of passes. They did second guess their shots a lot. Usually they let them things go, but not today. But if you're the Clippers, like I said, you will take it because the goal was to come in here and get a W, and you got that done. Now they got to focus on getting it done in Game 4. The Phoenix game wasn't that exciting. Denver just don't have enough. I think they just going to have to put Monte Morris in the starting lineup. And I know people going to say I'm crazy, but they need to be able to put the ball in the basket for the entire game. They can't go on these streaks where they can't make a shot or they don't have Jokic in the game, so they got to hope somebody makes shots. They need to put their best offensive players on the court and just live with it. Just because they just don't have enough talent with everybody being out. Will Barton has been a great addition, and they needed him. But even with him coming off the bench and being a good contributor the last couple games, it hasn't been enough. You need Aaron Gordon to do more offensively. You need him to handle the ball more. You need him to score the ball more. But he hasn't done it this entire series, and that has been a big handicap to this offense. Michael Porter is a little banged up, and he was a flamethrower from 3. He was a guy that was very aggressive with his shots, and he calmed down and just didn't have it going. And now they're forced to play the best game they can because if they don't, they'll be going home. So I will put all my eggs in one basket and say, you know what? If I'm Mike Malone, I'm going with my best players. Whoever my best players, I'm just going to play them for majority of the game, and that gives me the best chance of winning. Unless somebody just has a game of their life outside of Jokic and Porter, and they help you, get the W. But they're gonna need Monte, and Will Barton, and all these guys to step up and really give everything. And I feel like Morris and Barton was better than the starters that they played out there, and they should probably be the starters to start this Game 4. And that just showed you, how good this Phoenix team is. They have great wing defenders. Aiden has did a decent, solid job individually on Jokic, even though the numbers don't show it. He's a great player. He's the MVP. He's an All NBA first team player multiple times, and Aiden has really stopped him from going for 40 or 50. And if he's going to get 30, you'll take it because this is they source of their offense. He makes all the plays. He makes all the buckets, and he's going to get the opportunities and the usage to do it, and the numbers are going to show that. But I haven't had too much of a problem with Aiden defense so far, or the Suns defense in general. They have been moving, they have been active, they have been communicating. Chris Paul looks unstoppable. He's getting to his spots. His shoulder looks good. He's playing at a good pace. He's making sure that the team isn't, getting out of control or getting too cocky. They playing disciplined, smart basketball on both ends of the court. I don't even think they taking too much tough shots either, unless it's late in the shot clock. Devin Booker is the one that's taking the tough ones, but they're dropping just like he did against the Lakers. And if they're dropping, plus he's getting easy ones at the same time, you're happy if you're the Phoenix Suns. And this is the best they offense have looked in the playoffs. And sadly, it's coming against the Nuggets, who are small, and they don't have the athletes that other teams was able to have at those positions, as everybody on the Suns is a threat to score, and that just make it real tough for the Nuggets. And that's why I believe they just have to put their best players in the starting lineup and just play them 45 minutes and just live with, this is the best we can do, this is the best we can put out, and live with the result. So if you're a Denver fan, you should be hurt, you should be sad, because y'all might not even win the game, but it just shows you how good this Phoenix team is. I picked them to win against the Lakers. I picked them to win against the Nuggets. They was the 1 or 2 the entire year, basically for the whole season, and they showing that right now. The best part about it is they're playing their best basketball when they're getting ready to go to the Western Conference Finals, and they have Chris Paul, who has destroyed the Jazz, especially with the Rockets when he was with James Harden, and they might have to play the Jazz in the next round. And if they can get rest and get healthy and get Chris Paul a lot better physically by sweeping the Nuggets, Phoenix should feel real confident going in the Western Conference Finals, and they should feel confident about getting a chance to go to the finals in their first season after acquiring Chris Paul and adding him to this young nucleus in his core. They are very hard to defend because Mikal Bridges is a great three-point shooter. Jay Crowder can stroke it. Devin Booker can stroke it and play on and off the ball and create his own shot, and same with Chris Paul. And Chris Paul will pick you apart offensively, whether it's with the pass or with the buckets, or even put you in tough situations where you have to pick your poison and live with the result. And the Denver just don't have no answers for that. Denver hasn't been a great defensive team, and they lost one of their biggest pieces offensively, and it's starting to show right now in this series. And, you know, this is how it is when you're in the playoffs. You're going against the best coaches, best players, and if you don't have yours, you've got a huge disadvantage. And the Phoenix Suns have theirs, and they playing their best. And the Nuggets, they just don't have enough, which we knew already coming into this postseason. But they competed. They gave all they could. But Phoenix is just a better team all around on both ends of the court. And they have shown that in the playoffs and in the regular season so far. And it looks ugly for Denver. Other than that, let me know what you guys think. Is it over for Denver? Can the Clippers tie this up? Is the Clippers, better than what we thought? Or was the Jazz not having urgency, not playing the way that they should offensively, and just not being able to knock down their shots? Or was it credit to the Clippers going small and spacing out the floor and hitting them with a bunch of switchable defenders and finding ways to make the best shot and opportunities offensively instead of settling for tough jump shots that the Jazz will take? And that approach is what got them here in the second round, and that approach could help them, even up this series and have a chance to go up in Game 5. Other than that, Quinn Wade, Basketball Analysis, I'm gone. This is my playoff reactions, and I'll be back with another video on Sunday about the Brooklyn Nets game, and I believe the other game that comes on. So I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully. I'm gone. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think about these series so far and where they're going to go. And see y'all tomorrow. Hope you guys enjoy your Saturday. See y'all Sunday.